time to fuel your business success. Welcome to Harmonious at Lunch. We're bringing you bite-sized advice and expert conversations to drive clarity and growth 5 days a week. Make sure you join our Facebook group at humanopt.com/lunch, where listeners like you and our guests hang out so we can find harmony in business together. If you're building a business, you're in the right place. Let's dive in.
We're talking networking today. Welcome back to some more Harmonious at Lunch. And we're going to talk about that side of business that you either really, really love or really, really hate. And I haven't found anyone that's really in the middle. But we have a special guest with me today from all the way across the world in Mumbai, India, Rashesh Doshi. Welcome to the show and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Brandon. Thanks so much for having me out here.
So you are here to talk about networking. I assume you are one of the people that likes it. But correct me if I'm wrong. How do you feel overall about networking for business?
So, Brandon, I absolutely love networking. I do understand that a lot of people, when they think networking, they think business. But in my journey of the last 20 odd years running my own business, I've seen a lot of different facets of networking. And I'm extremely passionate about sharing my stories around how networking has actually been more than just business for me. And that's why I'm here to talk about it.
Yeah, I love it. I've gotten into networking more and more over the years. And I was definitely on the side of I can't stand this. And I really, really hate it in the beginning because you go to networking events and you just get slapped in the face with business cards. And then you realize that, okay, maybe I just need to be at different events. They're not all the same. But you're right. And you kind of hinted at that. Once you start going to the right events and doing it the right way, it's so much more than just business. And a lot of good can come from it. So I'm excited to hear your journey and how you've kind of how you've evolved through this journey too. So tell me, you have a couple of stories about networking that we can learn from. Where does it start for you?
Sure. So, Brandon, one of the things that I'd like to share today is that networking is not about people knowing you. It's about you knowing them, right? So, I go to a lot of networking events because my business, which is the business of HR, demands me to do so. But a lot of times what I've realized is that very few people are actually listening versus they're all talking, right? So the real magic of networking comes up when you're listening to the opposite person and not just shuffling those visiting cards across to them. And I think that's been my first learning out of networking. And there have been some very interesting stories that have come up. And one of them, I can tell you that I've been a part of an organization called the Roundtable, right? And Roundtable is a young men's organization, which doesn't really meet for the purpose of business, but it meets for the purpose of socialization, of doing things for the community. Now, as a member of the organization, we call this the Brotherhood Cohort. You can reach out to the other person for whatever you think that would be a requirement. And this story goes around 3 years ago when suddenly, my mom was in another city and this was a spiritual city and she had a bad accident out there. Now, it was a situation where I knew one from there. I just opened up the directory of that particular organization that I've been a part of for the last 7 or 8 years. And the first number I called, right? And I just said, hi, I'm so-and-so, and I'm a fellow tabler from Mumbai. And the opposite person on the other side said, yes, brother, what can I do for you? Right? He did not know me. He did not, he had never met me. He just knew that I was a part of a common organization. And that network was very effective because after that point of time, that brother or that person took over the responsibility of my mom getting completely all right till the time I reached that particular city. And today, my mom's actually physically fit and she can run and walk. Whereas that point of time, it wasn't the same. And this was all because I was a part of a network, right? A network can be so useful to you, even beyond just getting business. If you get to know people and if you just are part of a common organization, you can really reach out to them for even as small things like, a personal help that you require.
Yeah, it's so huge too. And it really sounds like, the brotherhood, like you mentioned, it's ingrained in the values of the organization itself. And that's, what you're signing up for. It's going to attract those people. It's going to repel the wrong people, which is a really good thing. Is that where you started your networking journey though? Like, did you just happen to find the best of the best groups, or were you in those rooms where it was really about, pitching and selling and handing out business cards first?
So honestly, we all start off in the same way, right? And I know the rooms that are those variety. Uh, there are organizations like the Business Networking International, which are typically known for very heavy transactional activities. Uh, but that's exactly what they sell to you. They tell you the same thing, that the reason that you come out here is because there's going to be a lot of cross selling of business. Now, what they don't tell you is that they will teach you the science of networking. And I'm very, very proud to say that I spent 11 years in BNI, and I learned a lot around networking through my journey in BNI. Yes, I do understand that room can be very overwhelming for people, especially those people who are not very open to the art of learning networking. But I can tell you out of a story, then a BNI has really, really helped me in such a way that when I wanted to go international in terms of my business, I had targeted to do it to Dubai, and I knew no one out there. The next thing that I did is I was traveling there, and I wrote to 6 people. I said, listen, I would like to come and meet you, introduce myself, and let you know who I am and what I do. Luckily for me, because I was a part of the network, they all welcomed me with open arms. And I'm proud to say the first 12 clients came from their referrals, right? They didn't know me, but it was because I had learned from a forum like a BNI that you need to reach out to people. You need to go and tell people what you do in their concept. They have a concept called the one-to-one. And when you do that, when you follow the science, that's when people actually refer you and help you grow your business. And actually that format is really beautiful. It's not about just plainly selling yourself. The BNI format of a one-to-one actually gives you a structured framework on what do you discuss with the person so that it doesn't look like selling, right? So that's one experience that I would love to share, Brandon.
I will say that is an introvert's best friend, because all of like meeting new people in itself can be overwhelming. And then you have to then have a conversation with that person. Oh my word, that couldn't be any scarier. Having a framework is always a good thing. I remember that back to my one of my earlier networking meetings. It wasn't BNI. It's similar enough, but it's a virtual group nationwide. And I got there and I was like, there's too many people here. Like, I'm way too overwhelmed. What do I even say? How do I know these people? So yeah, I love that stuff. I'm curious though, you have all these meetings, the networking meetings, the group meetings, you have the one-on-ones. Something that I personally still am terrible at, and I'll just admit that openly. I want to hear your advice, your cure for this. How do you stay in touch with people that you meet and continue to build that relationship? And I'm asking because for myself, so I go to the meetings, we have the one-on-ones, the breakout rooms, and then I feel like, we have a great conversation and I drop the ball. Technically speaking, the other person also drops the ball and doesn't follow up. But like, how do you continue to build those relationships over time so that you can benefit each other?
So, Brandon, I learned that from one of the authors and networking gurus called Keith Ferrazzi. He writes a book called Never Eat Alone, and that's a very popular book, a high seller. He mentions that you don't need to be too forceful about networking. The idea is, you just make a list of people that you would like to be in touch with, and you don't always need to get into a deeper conversation or a deeper transaction with them immediately. The idea is to be in touch with them with just possibly a text. Okay. A text or a phone call or an email. If you're visiting their city, and you can't meet them, you still say a hi. But you need to keep how do I say, a mind map of all the people that you have possibly interacted with. And just to make life simpler for you, Brandon, I've recently got onto this tool called Dex, that is called dex.com. It's one of the best tools that I have found in terms of managing your network. You can meet a lot of people, and obviously because you meet a lot of people, you don't really know what's happening in each of their lives. But a lot of them, they put up their status on their LinkedIn's, their Facebooks, and this kind of puts everything together. Also, what the technology does, it helps you to create a mind map, a mind map of all your network, reminds you on who you could just reach out to say a hi, helps you to draft messages to them, which are not very impersonal or in the face. I believe, with this technology and with just a bit of human touch element, a lot of people who are very shy of networking can become open to networking.
I like it. You said the tool is called Dex, Dex,
Yes,
Dex.com.
yes. There's a founder called Kevin who's come up with the technology, and I really loved what he's come up with. There are many of them, but I liked what Kevin's done.
Yeah, that's super cool. Is it a CRM?
It's not a CRM. I'm not sure if you call it a CRM. It's a pure networking tool. I can text you the website, but it's an app which is pretty fluid.
Yeah, I would love to check it out. And we'll put that in the show notes too, because that's like I said, that's my weakness is staying in touch with the people I meet. And even if I follow them on LinkedIn, like I don't just sit there and scroll all day and go like posts and comments and stuff like that. So if we can leverage tools to build authentic relationships, I'm not here to, just spam people, but that's a great tip right there. So what else do you have? You're obviously a networking pro. What other tips do you really lean into and leverage that you see a lot of people maybe dropping the ball on?
So I think the one thing that I can tell you is when you really want to build strong networks, uh, try to figure out how you can help the opposite person. Right? I think the first step is something that you need to take. Uh, I remember this concept called giver's gain, where if you are the one who's making that extra effort in terms of trying to make that connect, uh, there is every chance that the other person will remember you and will reciprocate back, right? They may reciprocate back in terms of kind, or they may reciprocate back by connecting you to other people. But you need to take the first step of connecting them or helping them. Now, you can help them by sharing a connect. You can help them by referring business. You can help them by sharing your knowledge. Uh, you can just help them if for any personal need that they have as well. But I tell you one thing for sure, it will come back in reciprocal at least 100 more times than what you would have given to them. So that's one thing that I would definitely like to say. Second thing that I would definitely say is that networking is not like you do it one day and you can miss out on that the next day. It's like going to the gym. You need to invest a certain amount of time every single day, and if it's 15 minutes, then 15 minutes it is, right? But do it religiously for 15 minutes. Reach out to one or two people who you want to reach out to. Say a hi, say a hello. Try to see if you can get onto a conversation with them. And so because we do this over lunch sometimes. I don't know if many people discovered the tool called Lunchbox. So Lunchbox or Lunchtime, I don't remember the tool. It's an AI, artificial intelligence website, which connected you to random strangers, right? And you just have to register on it. You don't know who you're going to get connected to. But during the time of COVID, I had some brilliant conversations. They were just 30-minute conversations with random strangers from different parts of the world. And, they all were looking at networking and building their connects. Of course, there's similarity in terms of, the way what you're looking at in terms of a network and what they can deliver. But it worked well. There was this website called Lunchbox. There's a website called Coffee Mug. I think they still exist. But these are wonderful places where you can meet some very interesting people.
And those are business specific platforms?
Yes, they're very
That's
business
cool.
specific. They're very, very focused on professionalism. They ask you very clearly what is the reason of you wanting to join them. So you can join them for seeking a mentor. You can join them for seeking business. You can join them to just bounce an idea, or you can join them for some kind of consulting work. So very clear, they don't want to meet. It's not like a dating app. You're meeting each other purely for official professional networking.
That's awesome. Yeah, those are super cool sites. We'll definitely include those in the in the chat as well, or in the description. Rashesh, this has been amazing. I love all the tips. You definitely made me think about networking in a different way. And I got to get back in the gym. I'll say that to leverage your metaphor there. I get busy, and that's the first thing that drops off my calendar. I do it all the time. I'm the worst at it. So if any of our listeners are the same, get back in the gym, go network, go meet people, and build intentional relationships. Rashesh, if people want to reach out to you and learn more about you, connect with you, where's the best place to do that?
I'm very active on LinkedIn by my name, Rashesh Doshi, and I'll be more than happy to have conversations with people.
Awesome. I got your website here. We'll toss that on the screen. That's also down below in the show notes. Rashesh, I appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
For those of you watching, listening, talentcorner.in. It's in the show notes. It's on the screen. The LinkedIn link is also down below in the description, so go check that out, along with all the other tools that Rashesh mentioned so graciously on the show. He's not affiliated with those, but I just appreciate the help and sharing your wisdom here. So I will see you on tomorrow's episode of Harmonious at Lunch. I hope you liked this one. We'll see you then.
Another episode of Harmonious at Lunch in the books. I hope this episode made you think and you grabbed some actionable ideas to propel your business. Don't forget to like, comment your takeaways, and subscribe wherever you're listening so we can help more entrepreneurs just like you achieve harmony in their life and business. For cutting-edge tools that bring clarity to your people and processes, check out humanoff.com.